out here in the living room because I actually bring my computer out here to upload videos. The router's out here and the connection in my room is actually really bad. It takes over 2 hours to upload a typical video in my room, and it takes maybe 30 minutes out here, which is still actually terrible internet speeds, but Downey has no fiber options, so. Also, sorry if there's computer fan noise. I'm exporting yesterday's second video right now as the first one uploads. Now, let's get on to the topic of today's video. Last night, I read a post on Reddit from a user named Verimir7skins about how to find new rural spawn points since the most recent addition of extra spawn points in parks and wilderness and rural areas. And I thought this was really interesting because what this guy found backs up what Woodwose Wolf found, in that Pokemon were spawning more frequently along paths in forests and other types of areas like that. So this guy, Verimir7skins, went on to OpenStreetMap, which we know Niantic, well, we don't know, but we have evidence that Niantic might use OpenStreetMap for determining things like where to place Pokemon nests. And what he found was that the paths that he was walking along that had increased spawn rates were all marked as pedestrian paths on OpenStreetMap. There's a fair amount of confirmation in the comments from people who also checked OpenStreetMap and said that they had increased spawns along those marked paths that they were walking on. So I went on to OpenStreetMap to check out some of the places that I had looked since the spawn rates had been increased. And of the 4 parks that Chance and I went to the other day, the only one with marked red footpath trails on OpenStreetMaps is Wilderness Park. Check it out. This is the only park where we saw an increase in spawn rates, and they were mostly along these red paths. Interestingly, Wilderness Park isn't actually marked as a park here on OpenStreetMaps, but I might go in and change that pretty soon. Now check this out. Here's Rio San Gabriel Park, another park that we went to. Again, not marked as a park, and also no footpaths within the park. There is this one trail along the riverbed, but I didn't actually go out there and see if Pokemon were spawning there, which might be something interesting to check out. Here's one of the other parks we went to. Again, no footpaths. And then this one, Lakeside Park, no footpaths, also not marked as a green park on OpenStreetMaps. And in Lakeside Park, we didn't even see any Pokemon spawn at all. So to follow up, to sort of test this theory that Pokemon are spawning more along these marked footpaths on OpenStreetMap, I decided to check out Furman Park. There is a walking trail in Furman Park. Cassie and I walked around the loop last night, as you saw in yesterday's video, and we really didn't see any spawns. We saw them in the typical places in the corners of the park where I've always seen them before, but between the corners along the walking trail, no spawns. So I checked last night, and that walking trail is not mapped on OpenStreetMaps. But the great thing about OpenStreetMaps is it's open. You can contribute information to this map. So I decided I would add that walking trail to OpenStreetMaps. And I did. And now this morning, as I'm looking at it, that walking trail appears here in Furman Park in this red dotted line. Of course, for some reason when I zoom in, it disappears. I guess it's just not rendered there yet. But there it is. That's the walking trail that I added to Furman Park. So now I'm going to go check and see if there are more Pokemon spawning along this trail at Furman Park. Check it out. It's raining a little bit. So I made an umbrella for the camera. Brilliant. Now obviously there are 2 possible outcomes here. Either the spawns increase along the walking trail, or they don't. But there are 3 possible explanations. The first is that Niantic isn't using path data from OpenStreetMaps to increase spawns. That would be a reason why spawns haven't increased along the walking trail here. Another reason that spawns might not have increased is because I'm too late in updating this data. If Niantic just took path data from OpenStreetMaps when they were updating the spawns, then I'm too late and this path won't be included in that information. And then the third outcome is that it does work, and that's going to be because Niantic is using path data from OpenStreetMaps, and because it's updating in real time. Meaning they've used path data from OpenStreetMaps in their spawn point algorithm, so that any path that gets added to OpenStreetMaps will have increased spawns along the path. Well, we're here now. Go Plus is already buzzing. But typically Pokemon do spawn in this corner because of the baseball fields right here. Should be safe here. I probably should have put my phone in a bag too. I'm just gonna catch this Pidgey and then we'll walk along the trail and see what we find. Sixth catch of the day. I forgot to record my screen, but there it is. So now that I'm recording, check it out. Only 2 of these Pokemon are in the park at the Pokestops. Those last 3 are not even here. It's the Pokestop way down here. Oh, another Pokemon spawning. And that Geodude is right along the trail. It's right over there. And a Paris right next to it. But again, Pokemon do spawn in this corner because of the baseball field here. There is typically cellular activity in this corner of the park. These are a little farther out though from the baseball field. So let's see. Catch these and keep moving. Now see, I only mapped the part of the trail that goes this way, but I didn't map the part over here that goes sort of around the buildings. But Pokemon do spawn already over there anyway, and Go Plus is vibrating. There's something right here at the fork. See, that's a common spawn point, actually. That's right over here near the playground, and Pokemon do spawn quite a lot around this part of the park. So I'm gonna head past the playground towards that side of the park, because that's where Pokemon weren't spawning previously. This will be my first Pokestop of the day. 6-day streak. Remind me tomorrow. I got a lucky egg these. Don't spin, don't catch after midnight. Oh, there's the Pokemon. Staryu Nest, by the way. I think I've covered that before. Wow. Triple Staryu, Paris, Nidoran. I don't know that I've ever seen a cluster of 5 Pokemon right here. There are definitely spawns around the base of the gym, a lot, but I did map the walking trail that goes right through here. I mean, I'm on it right now. Well, better get to work. And there's another one. 6 Pokemon. I'm rounding the corner now. I've been walking along the trail that I mapped for this entire side of the park, and I haven't seen increased spawns at all. So this will be the real test here. It seems like my dreams are slowly being crushed. Approaching this corner now, and Pokemon do typically spawn back here, but when you look at the map, they're not actually in the park. They're in the houses just over here on this side of the wall. Yep, there's Go Plus, so let's check it out. Get under this tree. This one is actually in the park for once. Nothing else, huh? They usually spawn like right over here. Let's continue on. Giving up on this one. See, we do get a little bit of weather here in California. It's not always sunshine, although I know this is a very light sprinkling compared to what many of you are used to. I didn't see real rain until I was living in New Orleans. From what we're seeing here, I think we can at least confirm that Niantic isn't using path data from OpenStreetMaps in real time to plot spawn points. It's definitely possible that they looked at path data when they updated spawn points and used all the paths that existed at that time. So the next logical step is to check out a path that was already plotted before the spawn points were increased. Also, Cassie should be home soon, and I haven't eaten all day, so you know what that means. It's stopped raining, so we're gonna go try to find another red path in a previously spawn light area. I don't really know what's a spawn light area, but there are some wilderness parks, state parks, fairly close, so we're gonna go check those out. I have to do some hopping back and forth between OpenStreetMap and Google Maps, but check it out. This is the nearest state park, Crystal Cove State Park, but if you zoom in, all these trails are actually brown, which means they're sort of unpaved roads. What we're looking for are red dotted lines like this that indicate footpaths. There are quite a few footpaths up here, and that's Laguna Coast Wilderness Park, so I think we'll go check that out, see if we can walk along those trails and find increased Pokemon spawns. We just parked, and there's Pokemon spawning already. My Go Plus is vibrating, so I'm gonna check out what's going on. Okay, well there's a gym here, and a Pokestop, so not surprised to see spawns, but we're gonna head up, follow these walking trails, which are actually marked in the game, so who knows. I do want this Abra though. Sweet. Let's see what else is going on up here. We have 40 minutes here. I'm not surprised to see spawns here, near the parking lot, near the visitor center, I'm assuming. And these roads that are showing up in-game are all these roads here on Google Maps, which isn't surprising because Pokemon Go uses a skinned version of Google Maps for its map. Now if I hop over to OpenStreetMap, you can see that there's more than just those trails. Not a whole lot more, but there are more. So we'll just pick one, follow it for the next 20, 30 minutes or so. See what we can find. It looks like right here, there's a trail that's marked on OpenStreetMap that's not on Google Maps. So maybe we can sort of hike up towards that and see what we find. Although, to be honest, a trail showing on Google Maps or in Pokemon Go shouldn't make a difference for what we're investigating right now. But I think we'll head up this trail back that way. What do you think? That way?
Yeah.
Still more Pokemon spawning down here. There's a few near the Pokestops here and at the entrance just off the road. So I'm interested to see what happens as we head up this trail. Check it out, we're just a few steps in and there's already 2 Caterpie spawning right here, right on the trail. We're also far enough from Pokestops now that we have a split sightings and nearby. Seems like Caterpie is going to be pretty common out here. We also did catch an Abra right when we got here, and there's another one. Now, any more Pokemon up here? So it's been a while. It's definitely not every 10 meters, but there is a Rhyhorn on the trail here. 68 CP. Yeah. That's something. Still Caterpie on sightings, but I don't know. We'll keep walking a little bit longer. It's 4:30 now. We'll probably have to turn around in 15 minutes to make it back down in time. I could also save some time by not shooting time lapses, but the sky is so beautiful today. This post-rain, these clouds, we don't ever get skies like this in Southern California. We've gotten to a point now where there's nothing on sightings, so I'm guessing there's not going to be any more Pokemon spawning up this trail, at least for the next 200 meters. So It's kind of a bust. Even though there are no Pokemon further up the trail, we're gonna keep going just to enjoy going. We're a little farther up now, and there are more Pokemon on sightings. 3 Pokemon. I can't say whether they're ahead or behind us, but we're gonna keep walking and see if we encounter them. We're coming up on the fork where this trail changes over to the one that's not listed on Google Maps. Hopefully, I don't know if we have enough time. Let's just walk faster. Well, a 4th Pokemon spawned near a Pokestop, so now I lost sightings entirely. And we only have 22 minutes until the gate closes down there. So, we'll just walk up as far as we can and then turn around in about 6-7 minutes. It'll be faster going downhill. Well, here's 2 Pokemon, a Rhyhorn and a Caterpie. These are 2 of the ones we saw on sightings. Still right on the trail, but that doesn't confirm that they're spawning because of the trail. There might have been enough cellular activity here previously for these Pokemon to spawn here normally. I don't know. I'm definitely not seeing the spawns that I expected based on what other people had reported, but there have been Pokemon spawning on this trail. If you've been here before, let me know in the comments if you saw Pokemon spawning prior to the spawn rate increase for rural areas. Otherwise, there might be more to it than just a red dotted path on OpenStreetMaps. It might have something to do with the container as well, what the land around the path is labeled as. I know national forests and state parks were definitely seeing increased spawn rates according to some of the reports on Reddit, but it's 4:43. Alright, let's just walk up to the fork at least. At least to the fork. Ready? Okay, here's the Nidoran that we saw on sightings also. We're not quite at the fork yet. It's only been a few meters, but another Pokemon. So they were 3 clumped right there along the trail, which is interesting. Ah, another one. And we're in night mode. Has the sun officially set? 4 minutes, according to my 2 Pokemon right here. Alright. I really need to know. If someone's been up here, what is this place called? If someone's been up here before, Laguna Coast Wilderness Park, and you've walked along these trails, did you find this many Pokemon spawning here before the increase a week ago? There's a lot of Pokemon spawning up here. I don't think there's that much cellular activity here, really. Like, how many people are actually walking along this trail per day? Not many would be my guess. We're gonna have to turn around here though to make it back and get out before the gate closes in 15 minutes. And also my camera battery is about to die. So I'll see you guys at the bottom. We made it with just a minute to spare. Before we leave, I just want to catch this Pidgeot. I saw it appear on the nearby list while we were up the hill. I'm gonna grab this now, but while we're doing that, I want to talk about what we saw. We did see a lot more Pokemon spawning on the way down. We caught 3 Eevees. Oh, this is going to be difficult with one hand. There were 3 Eevees on the way down, and then quite a few Nidoran, even a Nidorino, but that was as we got closer down to the end here, back towards the visitor center. But all the Pokemon that we saw spawned right along the path. Come on. I'd say that's pretty good evidence to Pokemon spawning along the red dotted lines in OpenStreetMap. But again, this is just one case. So what I want everyone else to do is check out OpenStreetMap, see if you can find areas, especially wilderness areas like this, state parks, county parks, regional parks, whatever you have nearby with red dotted paths in them on OpenStreetMap. Check them out, go walk along those paths and see if you find Pokemon spawning there. Bonus points if it's an area that you've been to before and you know that there weren't Pokemon spawning there previously. I'm going to continue this investigation another day. It's already getting dark, so it's going to be hard to go out and shoot in another wilderness type area. But for now, we've at least seen a little bit of evidence that Pokemon might be spawning more along footpaths in OpenStreetMap, so check it out. Cassie wants to get a Christmas tree for his sisters now. I ran out of lights. Hard on the way home, and Southern California's drainage system is just not set up to handle any amount of rain. But anyway, I really think there's something to this OpenStreetMap theory. So if you can get on OpenStreetMap, go look for red dotted footpaths near you, especially in wilderness areas, in parks, in national parks, in state parks, in rural areas where there shouldn't be a ton of spawns normally. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you find out. So let me know in the comments, on Twitter, send me an email, send me a 5-page essay typed in 12-point font, double-spaced. But I definitely think we're onto something with these footpaths right now. I'm also interested to continue looking at OpenStreetMap and see what other kinds of correlations I can find between OpenStreetMap data and Pokemon Go, because we've already seen that parks that exhibit certain features on OpenStreetMap are more likely to be nests in Pokemon Go. So it's not unlikely to think that there could be other factors from OpenStreetMap that are influencing spawns in Pokemon Go. Now, before we end this one, here is today's giveaway. It's a nice substitute tin, and I think there's like cookies in it. I honestly have no idea, but if you can read that and you know what's in there, it has a date on it. Is that an expiration date? Year first, month, day? Or day month? I don't know. They could be good until next month, or they could be good until next November. But regardless of what's inside, I actually really like this tin. Substitute, if you're not familiar, is a move from the main series games where a Pokemon sacrifices 25% of its HP to create a substitute in its place, and that substitute takes damage for it. So anyway, that's today's giveaway. Again, the link is in the description. Check it out, enter, just make sure you're subscribed and you're good to go. And please, check out OpenStreetMaps, let me know what you find. I'll see you guys tomorrow.